Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAP TV. My name is Benjamin Agile, and as you all know, been ready since morning. So we'll be doing this today here in the studio, and I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this with a special guest, a political analysis, in person of Mr. Ajaero. Mr. Ajaero, how are you?
Fine, okay, well, thank you.
How is family and everything?
Okay, we thank God we're surviving. This
And
is
how you
Nigeria.
doing weather in Port Harcourt?
I won't say much, but we know that Port Harcourt is a rainy town. And this is River State. It looks as if every rain starts here and circulates according to the state of observation. But we're surviving. We understand how it is in this state.
It's alright, it's alright. I think we are getting adapted to the environment.
Obviously,
It's alright, it's alright. So we'll be going on a very short break. I will be right back. Welcome back from that very quick break. Before we hit to the analysis, we'll be reading the newspaper headline. Today being 11th of September 2024. So we'll be starting with the New Telegraph here. And on the bold headline here says, he may flee as Maiduguri prison walls collapse. The details of that will be found on page 2 of the New Telegraph. Labour leader not above the law, says presidency. The details of that you will find on page 3 and 6 of the New Telegraph. How inflation making lower denomination disappear. The details of that will be found on page 14 of the New Telegraph. Why we raided Serap's office by DSS. The details of that will be found on page 4 of the New Telegraph. PFCC promised to go after indicated bank officials. The details of that will be found on page 7 of the New Telegraph. Lukman can't tell Nigerians who to vote for in 2027, says PFCC. The details of that will be found on page 2 of the New Telegraph. Insecurity, tech, vital tool in fight against banditry. Army chief. The details of that will be found on page 23 of the New Telegraph. Obi debunks purported arrest by DSS. The details of that will be found on page 3 and 4 of the New Telegraph. Ajaero, Tinubu's oppressive control surpasses military dictatorship. Article. The details of that will be found on page 2 of the New Telegraph. Moving next is the Daily Independent. Now the bold headline here says DSS arrested Ajaero over alleged terrorism financing treason. The details of that will be found on page 6 of the Daily Independent. Edo government raises the alarm over arrest of PDP leader. The details of that will be found on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Federal government deploys NEMA to the overflow disaster. The details of that will be found on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Customs tightening surveillance at border to halt petrol smuggling. The details of that will also be found on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Military restates capacity to protect Nigerian Airlines Corporation. The details of that will be found on page 6 of the Daily Independent. Report of Peter Obi's arrest by DSS, baseless. The details will be found on page 7 of the Daily Independent. I'll be moving next to the Punch. And the go headline says federal government opened IDP camps as flood submerged 70% of Maiduguri. The details will be found on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Why NNPC may not lift Dangote petrol on Sunday, fuel importation fail domestic production. Refineries Association. The is going to be found on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. Southwest government to spend 266 billion naira on airport projects. It is going to be found on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. Lagos Red Line train to transport 450,000 passengers daily. It is going to be found on page 26 of the Punch newspaper. 10,000 new recruits for deployment. February 2025. Police. The details of the plan on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. 70,000 naira wage. NYSC awaits federal government directive on new corporate pay. The details of the plan on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Moving next is Daily Trust. And the bold headline here says over 200,000 displaced children missing in the region. The details of the plan on page 3, 4, 10, and 11 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Retired judge charged with assaulting neighbor's wife. The details of the plan on page 22 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Youth block group overkilling of Chapo dealer in Bauchi. The details of the plan on page 29 of the Daily Trust. 5 bandits killed, corpses dumped in FCT community. The details of the plan on page 17 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 125,517 terrorists, family members surrendered. The details of the plan on page 9 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Ajaero's arrest violation of trade union, freedom, UK, TUC. The details of it defined on page 26 of the Daily Trust. Nigeria's crude oil production rose to 1.357 million in August. OPEC, the details of it also defined on page 26 of the Daily Trust. Israel kills 248 Palestinians in safe zones as right group condemns siege. The details of it defined on page 8 of the Daily Trust. And lastly, here we have the Vanguard newspaper. Now the board header here says, nobody is above the law, federal government. The details of that we find on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. In deepening its capital market, Nigeria raises over $900 million, 5-year inaugural domestic FGN US dollar bond. And this will be found on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper. Bandit leader Bello Tuji, others will soon be captured. CDS. The details of that will be found on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. And that will be all for the newspaper headlines for today. So we will be handing it over to our guest here in the house. Now the last newspaper here, the Vanguard newspaper, says nobody is above the law, federal government, and we all know who this statement is being tapped. This statement is made regarding the NLC push for the release of Ajaero's arrest. So, what do you say about this particular headline?
As when you were going through this particular headline, I was actually smiling. Reasons being that our federal government had, should I say, correct in one angle and at fault in one other angle. Nobody is above the law, yes, we understand. It is written in our constitution, in our 1999 constitution, that nobody is truly above the law. But do we really adhere to it? Now, let me to actually divert a little bit. We've had, before I come back to Ajaero's case, we've had cases where some persons were supposed to be groups regarding either what they said, their actions. Over what they said, their actions and their attitude, their reactions towards things. I'll actually take a good example from the FCT minister. This is River State. Or of late, every story just to bring us back home. Let's start from the grassroots.
Okay.
Our FCT minister made a lot of statements. Forgive me, just like I earlier said, I'm about to divert from the actual headline. Our FCT minister actually made a lot of, forgive me, I would say blunders, but was not good. He was not even called to order. He even got to a point where Mr. Clark made it emphatically that he should be called to order. He should be arrested the same way the protesters were arrested because they actually made equal, should I say, equal offenses. But this is Nigeria. We don't get to go the high and mighty. We don't get to put them on the right track. We don't get to say, okay, you're at fault. You should actually face the law. Because it looks as if in Nigeria, this is like, of late, Nigerians have actually affirmed to the fact that political games are like family gimmicks. Things that are actually happening politically are like, okay, this is like a chess game and it is owned by a particular family. So they don't get to stroke their own. Now, coming back to the issue of Ajaero, the NLC president. Right now, coming back to the NLC president, Comrade Ajaero's arrest. At first, our security agencies, see, this is Nigeria, there is always some level of fault that comes with every single headline that goes on a newspaper. One person is claiming to be right all the time. It is not always okay when two rights, just like they always say, when two wrongs are trying to make right. Our security agencies were wrong at first, having to step into the NLC office in Abuja, raiding the office without their permission, without a warrant. Now, we are casting our minds back to what actually happened before this arrest. Before they even issued, they actually called his attention, okay, they need to carry out investigation. They raided the office in Abuja without a warrant. That is the law. That is a law in Nigeria that before you actually raid an office, you should actually take permission. Yes. Hello, this is a private body. The NLC is a private body. They are answerable to their own authority. So you leaving the comfort of your office and having to invade another person's office without a warrant, that is an offense on their own part. Now, responding to that, you could still remember our security agency said the case they were running was very sensitive. So they didn't need to actually give a warrant. They didn't need to follow procedure. Hello, and this is a law-abiding nation. Yes. This is a law enforcement agency. This is a democratic nation. Hello, this is a democratic nation. And you as a law enforcement agency refuse to follow the law. And you're expecting another person to actually fall back to the law. You see what this? That's why I say Nigerian political gimmicks is exactly like a game of chess, where they actually put a gun ahead and leave the royalties behind. Rather than having to put the royalties, they keep putting the guns ahead to fight. So at some point, security agencies had their own point of view, and the NLC generally. Now we're actually coming to Ajaero's case. We know he was tagged for terrorism. We're actually going to talk about the part where our NLC president and the president of the workforce of American Nigeria is being probed for, is being tagged for terrorism. But on the part of the NLC, obviously, which is not something we should be hearing on our headline. Now, the part of the NLC saying, okay, I'm actually going to borrow their words exactly, that they want the release of the person. Our president just actually arrested some persons in the Abuja office during their unwarranted search. They actually arrested some persons. Took away sensitive documents without a warrant. Let's not forget that aspect. Without a warrant. Now, the NLC have the opinion that, okay, since you visited us without an invite, you actually stepped on our toes. You stepped on our authority. Imagine the local government chairman attacking the president. Hello, that is you stepping on toes. That is you like not following due process. So they actually came out with their own valid point out of anger. Once you're angry, there is this thing that motivational speakers like saying that you don't make decisions when you're angry. You don't speak words when you're angry. There are certain things you don't do when you're angry. So I felt, so now buying into the idea of the NLC chapter nationwide, they were actually right in their own part where they said you cannot come and arrest our president. You can't even issue an arrest warrant. Like at some point they looked at it as a threat. It looks like a threat that if it doesn't respond to their call, they will be forced to issue an arrest to him. So the NLC, this is like a recap. The NLC actually gave out their reaction because they can't actually fold their own hands and see security agencies come out to pick up their president without them saying something. Hello, this is the body. This is the body. So we were not expecting them to keep quiet at first. We were not expecting them to keep quiet. And they actually showed their reaction. They actually showed that our security agencies were actually wrong, having to invest purpose of wanting to arrest. So I feel at some point our security agencies should actually look into how things are done. Let's let's run investigations in Nigeria as professionals alone. Let's stop this how I feel and how I want it to be mentality. So now coming back to our NLC president, Comrade Ajaero, with due respect, I must confess, there are things, just like I said, there are things that are not expected to be heard from some set of persons, some top bodies, some top officials of government. There are things that are not expected. See, your name should not, I'm not saying your name should not be mentioned negatively on a newspaper headline. It is actually normal. Hello, this is Nigeria. News. We make rounds every day.
Human beings.
Obviously. We make rounds.
Things happen every day.
Obviously. This is Nigeria. We literally make rounds across the nation without news. We don't have news in Nigeria. Funny enough, we don't have news in Nigeria.
We always have something to talk about.
Obviously. Things keep happening. This is Nigeria is like a series. It keeps coming. So,
can we relate this, there's a particular headline here on Daily Independent that says this was automatic, to be precise. Tinubu's oppression surpasses the harshest military dictatorship. So, can you relate this Ajaero's case to this particular statement by
part of detecting for the people? They are we are actually running. I'm trying to look for an English word for it. We are running a democratic military rule in Nigeria, where the president is a democratic body, but enforces a military action. We know our president is GCFR. Is the one commander-in-chief of armed forces. So I feel at some point he is actually exercising some military power when some things need to be pressed. So our NLC president having to prove our NLC president having to be proved against financing terrorism and treason. Now this just like the report we saw on our headline. Now, this is in regards to the hashtag, I would actually call it that way. The hashtag that the United Kingdom actually placed in Nigeria, that the NLC is involved in human trafficking. That they are violating human rights rules. That's exactly how it is written. That now, just like I said, it's coming from the United Kingdom. So, having to call out the NLC president on this particular issue shouldn't be something that should be neglected. It is very wrong that the security agencies of the nation, Nigeria, is calling you for something that naturally you're not guilty of. I'm trying to pick it from the guilty consciousness angle now. Yes. you're not guilty of. You should be okay. Let me go and see what they have to say.
Yes.
In as much as let's map out their wrongs. The security agencies, let's not map out their wrongs. This is the security agency of the nation. Imagine if in another state of the federation calling a president, a TUC president, for just to question and investigate, and he's actually turning down the offer. Hello, it doesn't tell good. Sincerely, obviously, no. See, at some point, it doesn't really tell good on our nation. It's as if we don't obey rules. We don't follow due process. We don't actually adhere to things. It is very wrong that he actually turned down the invitation. It is very, very wrong. Even got to a point where he was about to travel to London to attend a TUC conference in London, and he was arrested at the airport. Hello, that's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment, not just to him as a person, not just to him, not just to his office, but to the workforce of our dear nation, Nigeria. That the president of the workforce of our nation was arrested. He looked as if he was trying to run away. Hello, that's no. Let's look it from the literal angle. He looked as if he was trying to run away, because this invitation has been there. In as much as we know, he had a lot of backing from the Congress, saying that there's no way he can be arrested and the likes of it, that they don't have the right to argue. But some things were taxed to him that has to do with national security, cyber crime, financing terrorism, and we know that the word terrorism actually rings a lot of bells in the heart of Nigeria. It is one thing that threatens our life. It is one thing that every president wants to end. It is the dream of Nigeria that we wake up one day and Boko Haram is history. X-Men becomes history. Bandits will become a thing of the past. We'll just be reading it out to our children as history, not what is currently going on. So you to be called out for terrorism case, I feel you should have, personally, I feel you should actually adhere regardless of, for at least, for national security, for the good name tagged to Nigeria. Hello, we've actually been tagged as one of the most corrupt nations. Must we actually continue in that manner, that the security agency is calling you for the sake of national security, and you're turning down the offer, and you're a president of the workforce of the nation. One good example like this show. So the part of our former vice president, I think Abubakar say this present administration, I must put it that way, in summary, that there's some level of dictatorship. It's not actually far from the truth. It's not far from the truth. I'll keep bringing back this the reminder that our senators actually cried out.
Yes.
So some months back, that they literally don't have decisions regarding things that are happening. In as much as we try to create a balance, our president gets to see ahead of time. That's why he's the president. He's our foreman, just like we actually call him on the street. He's our foreman.
But not allowing your senators to work with you. But don't you think they have a reason to be there as senators?
Okay, I don't want us to go there because, just like I said, our president has an upper hand. He has an upper decision. Before he gets to do something, I feel they are ready. In as much as we don't want to tag this as a dictatorship. Yes, we don't want to tag this as some level of dictatorship where the president just decides what happens. But we feel our president, our dearest president, just like I always call him, has good reasons why he's making out something. So let's not tag it as a military rule in a civil society. That is very, very wrong. So on my own part, this arrest is actually due. It's long overdue. When the FLA was at fault, still at fault till day one, he's still being probed for rape. The investigations are still going on. So nobody is above the law, just like what the headline said. Nobody is above the law. But please, when it comes to a top official, I hope we will remember that nobody is above the law.
That is exactly where I want to bring it before we go to the next. You know, Wiki is a person.
Yes, our daddies of that.
Our daddies of that. Yes, of Wiki, the FCT minister. You know, of late, I think, once, twice, or three occasions, he made some statement that he's not supposed to make, and our clerk came out to say he should be called to order, he should be arrested for such statement, which you and I know that for someone to make such statement telling a state government that if it does not succumb to your own will, you will put fire in his state. You're not just threatening the life of one person, you're threatening the life of
state governors.
Like, so I just, that statement that our dearest president made, nobody is above the law. Don't you think it should be applicable to this FCT minister?
Okay, I would actually speak from being a patriotic Nigerian and having to see the happenings in politics. Just like I earlier said, it has become a game of chess where the pawns just go. The pawns get to suffer. The pawns are the ones in the war front. While the royalties actually enjoy the benefits that come from it was actually wrong for our ST minister to actually make such
a public statement on national television.
It was actually wrong. It was very, very wrong. He should have been arrested if he was a common man. I stand to be corrected. I beg to you, if it was another person, but being the fact that he's an FCT minister, there's some level of respect. Obviously, officers come with respect. We can't just bump into arresting our FCT minister. That is an embarrassment to Nigeria. We know that. So he is actually a national figure. In as much as we know that the law doesn't go round, but there are some persons that they are not above the law, but at some point they are above the law. So at this point, I don't want to emphatically say that our FCT minister should have been arrested.
I know you're trying to please say there, but
okay.
Our Senate president came out to make a statement which was
yes,
that is where I'm going.
Okay.
That is where I'm going. Which was not pleasant to Nigeria.
Okay.
But he came out to apologize to Nigerians, even though we know that what you have said, you have already said you cannot take it back. But he came out, he felt remorse for a statement and came out to apologize. Don't you think, even if this person is above the law,
okay. Number three,
which look like Mr. President said, no one is above the law. But I think we have placed on ourselves that value to think that we are above the law.
Okay.
You understand? Don't you think it would be good for him to come out at least apologize to this government, saying he shouldn't have said what he said, instead of embarrassing his office by going to arrest him?
Okay, we're yet to actually hear from security agencies regarding the arrest, because what he said can be tagged to treason.
Exactly.
Just like in the case of. Now, funny enough, the happenings in the space of 3 months, I must say, 2 months, 2 months and a half, if I'm not wrong, has actually been anchored based on what has been done.
So on the Daily Independence, we will be taking the last headline. We have restored confidence in Nigeria's economy, says Tinubu of late with independence economy. And a few days ago, a week last week, the price of oil have risen to some places that are selling 1.5. You can see in Port Harcourt today that many people are actually in stocks. Yes. The way coming to work was a bit for me. And so, what can you say about this particular statement? If if the confidence in Nigeria's economy has been restored, why is the prices of things still rising? You can see that the price of rice are not up, even though we have had a lot of promises that rice will supply and all that. What can you say about it?
I don't want to tag this as a motivation. Sorry, I must say, but we don't expect less from our president. Our president cannot come out and tell us that the economy is dying. So, it's not very wrong being a president and saying this, that the confidence of our economy has been restored. Now, the question we are actually sending back to our dearest president regarding this particular, I felt this was not in one of the conferences he attended, and he's the president of a generation like that, so he's trying, I must say, to actually put us in a balance and give us hope that things are actually going on well. But we know as Nigerians, our confidence first, before we talk about the economic confidence, our confidence as Nigerians has actually lost value. It has actually depreciated over time because we have been stretched. I keep saying this. We have been stretched emotionally, psychologically, even spiritually. Because we want to think it from the angle of spiritually. Most of our spiritual fathers have actually stressed us regarding how happening around. If you're in Nigeria, you can actually relate to this. But our president telling us that the economy has been restored, the confidence of the economy has been restored. I feel there is hope coming from him. He has our mandate to be our president. So him coming out, he can actually lie to us. In quotes, he can actually lie to us. That, so we believe that surely the confidence of our economy is also restored. But as Nigerians, we like cause and effect. We like to feel the impact.
Yes, as you're saying, let us be saying action.
They say action speaks louder than words. We know that our president is not actually folding his arms regarding the happenings in our various nations. No. It would be wrong to actually say that way. It would be wrong to actually think that our president, though he's not actually in the country now, doesn't have us in mind. No. It would be very wrong to say that. At least, you will surely have a fatherly consciousness that your children should live. So our president has us in mind. I'm not saying this to actually promote the happenings in Nigeria or anything like that. I know everybody is feeling the heat. We are all feeling the heat. But sending words back to our president as Nigeria, we like cause and effect, just like I earlier said. We like to see it happening. We want to feel it. Unless we get to feel it, it will still be a mirage. I bet you if you go out now and read this particular headline to a young man on the street, even the eldest man on the street, telling you that our president is saying that the confidence of the economy has been restored. You better ask you since when? Before I never come down, I see the value of 1,004.
It's going up.
It's going up. So where is the confidence coming from? On their own part, they are correct. We Nigerians, we are all feeling the heat. But we like to see a tangible result. What are Nigerians crying out for? PMS. Because once, let's not deviate from the truth. The Dangote refinery will soon be working. As promised, we are hoping to see it start working. And we are praying, just like, I feel our president is speaking it from the angle of the happening, because everybody is angry in Nigeria because fuel don't cost. The very common local sellers, sorry, I'm actually commonizing our sellers, our commodity sellers, the retailers on the street. They're actually complaining because once they hike the PMS, every other commodity in the market is being high. So let's just hope and see that, okay, this confidence that our president is giving us, that the confidence of the economy has been restored, let's just see that it comes to limelight. Because, sorry, let me borrow some words I heard on the street. That 1st of October, it go hot. We don't know what's going to happen. So we are hoping and praying that our federal government stands up to at least let the price of PMS come down. We were long overdue for this news. We have been talking about this for too long now.
Very long.
It's too long. We prolong this story.
We're talking about better things.
Come on. Our president promised us a renewed hope. We want to start seeing it.
Alright, we wish we could keep going on and on and on, but time is not on our side. Thank you very much, Mr. Ukeme, for coming. Like you all have heard what we've discussed today in this video. You can also be part of the program by sliding into our comment section. Like, follow our pages to watch more content, more videos like this one. Thank you for watching. I still remember that video.